So you are a student and you would like to learn how to be more productive at your work. Well, great. Today we're going to go over just that. I just graduated with a bachelor's, so I hope my 5 years of techniques can maybe help you on your journey. But before we get into that, I would like to invite you to my channel. This channel is solely based around self-development, getting you from where you are to where you want to be in life. And if that interests you, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing for more future content. Like I said earlier, I have done 5 years of school. 2.5 years were online and 2.5 years were actually in person on campus. I can give you a good idea of the difference between that. And really, there isn't a whole lot of difference. Even when it comes to working pre-COVID and during COVID, I've done those as well. So this is really a fairly roundabout way. It works for online, it works for on campus, and pre or during COVID. Also, I've helped at least 3 others with different assignments as well. Just being a helpful friend. So when it comes to these techniques, it's what I use for myself, it's what I use for others when I'm helping others, and it should work for you too. So now, one of the main things that I want to talk about is like last minute work and work where you start way beforehand. When it comes to the actual grade that you get, guys, I haven't really seen a difference. And there has been years where I was a very good student, getting my stuff done on time, and there were a few years where no, I didn't do that whatsoever. But regardless of that, I didn't see a loss in grade for the assignments that I have. So one thing that I really want to talk about is deadlines. And I think the reason for me still getting a good grade, regardless if it's last minute or work that I've been working on for a while, is my approach to deadlines. So what I would do is either or, if it was literally only had an hour to work on it, or 2 hours or 3 hours, for me it typically was that last day. Like it's like, okay, especially with what I had to do, I had to film, I had to edit, I had to pre-production, and that's when I was doing film school for the bachelor's. But even when it was 2.5 years just to get my, associate in the arts, and those different, like if it was math, if it was like some kind of philosophy or psychology, all of those as well worked with this same idea, this same way of thinking. And that is working on the deadline regardless of what that deadline really is. So if you tell yourself, Alex, I have 1 hour to work on this, and I need that other time in the day to do other different things, whatever it may be, but it's like, you know what? I'm only giving myself 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever it may be. When you have that kind of a mindset, you aren't going to be distracted as easy. The focus that you have on your work is going to be way more increased, because you're going to be like, let's say you're 5 minutes in and then you start to drift mentally. You're like, no, I gotta do this. And you just have to do it. Anytime you drift, just bring it back into focus. Bring it back into the realization that I only have 1 hour or 2 hours left. Then what you want to do is you want to do the smallest thing first. You just want to do something. So a lot of these different projects that we get, they're big. Now it could be a project that you're working on all semester. Maybe it's a certain research paper, or it could be a project that is still pretty big, but you need to do it in the next week. Some of them are reoccurring, like you have a paper each week that you have to write. That could be 1,000 words, 2,000 words, whatever it may be. Maybe it's papers or pages instead, like 5, 7, 10 page paper. You just want to do a little bit, just something. if it could be part of the research phase, whatever it may be, just break it down. Just think, okay, what is just one thing that I can do? Because at least you doing that one thing, it's going to start the momentum, and it's not going to feel like you have like writer's block, or you have all of this like extra anxiety, and it's like, I don't even know where to start. Do that one thing. Also, that brings it to papers. If you are doing a paper, just write that first paragraph. Now, the first paragraph, you're going to be working on your thesis and kind of like the overarching theme of the paper. And that can kind of be difficult too. It's like, okay, what would be a great crafted thesis? Because that's going to be what he bases it on, all of this. It's like, okay, what are the causes and what are the consequences of this pragmatic problem, and what are those pragmatic solutions? So just write that first paragraph, because once you do that, it's going to be so much easier. Like, honestly, that first paragraph is so tough. I know that I can work on that first paragraph for, let's say I only have an hour, I only give myself an hour. That first paragraph could be like 20-30 minutes, and then the rest could be maybe that 30 minutes. Or let's be more realistic. Let's say I only had like 2 or 3 hours. I still could spend easily 30 minutes, 40 minutes on that first paragraph. But it's like, get that first one out of the way, the next ones are going to be so much easier. And when you incorporate that with that deadline, really that's it. That's all you really need to do to get started. And not just get started, but to do it more efficiently. So if you liked those two things, once again, a little recap: set a deadline for when you want to do it, and break those into bite-sized chunks, and just do the easiest thing first. And once you get that out of your way, it's going to come so much nicer. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next.